Good morning, everyone. We are going to do the July 6th daily Bible reading. It's from the One Year Bible. It's the New Living Translation, and the color on my camera is already doing funky things. I've got all the windows open, and so it's not going to it's kind of a cloudy day. So it may not the changing light that's coming in through the window in front of me. We'll be starting out in 1 Chronicles chapter 2. Verse 18, going through chapter 4, verse 4, and it's all names, and I apologize before I even get started on them. Acts 24, 1 through 27 will be our New Testament for the day, and then we'll be in Psalm 4, 1 through 8, and then finish up with Proverbs 18, verses 16 through 18. My kitty cat's playing in front of me, so I hope she's not too distracting. I'll make her get down if she gets too noisy. 1 Chronicles chapter 2, verse 18. Hezron's son Caleb had sons from his wife Azubah and from Jerioth. Her sons were named Jeshur, Shobab, and Ardon. After Azubah died, Caleb married Ephrathah, and they had a son named Hur. Hur was the father of Uri. Uri was the father of Bezalel. When Hezron was 60 years old, he married Gilead's sister, the daughter of Machir. They had a son named Segub. Segub was the father of Jair, who ruled 23 towns in the land of Gilead. But Jeshur and Aram captured the towns of Jair and also took Kenath and its 60 surrounding villages. I'm going to close the blind in front of me. It's going to go crazy. The sun and clouds are just too much today. So soon after Hezron died in the town of Caleb Ephrathah, his wife Abijah gave birth to a son named Ashur, the father of Tekoa. The son of Jerahmeel, the oldest son of Hezron, were Ram, the firstborn Bunah, Oren, Ozem, and Ahijah. Jerahmeel had a second wife named Atara. She was the mother of Onam. Missy, stop that. The sons of Ram, the oldest son of Jerahmeel, were Maaz, M-A-A-Z, Jamin, and Iker. The sons of Onam were Shammai and Jada. The sons of Shammai were Nadab and Abishur. The sons of Abishur and his wife Abihail were Abon and Molid. The sons of Nadab were Seled and Appaim. Seled died without children, but Appaim had a son named Ishi. The son of Ishi was Sheshan. Sheshan had a descendant named Allah. The sons of Jada, Shammai's brother, were Jether and Jonathan. Jether died without children, but Jonathan had two sons named Peleth and Zaza. These were all descendants of Jerahmeel. Sheshan had no sons, though he did have daughters. He also had an Egyptian servant named Jarrah. Sheshan gave one of his daughters to be the wife of Jarrah, and they had a son named Attah. Attah was the father of Nathan. Nathan was the father of Zabad. Zabad was the father of Ephlal. Ephlal was the father of Obed. Obed was the father of Jehu. Jehu was the father of Azariah. Azariah was the father of Helez. Helez was the father of Elisa. Elisa was the father of Sismai. Sismai was the father of Shallum. Shallum was the father of Jechamiah. Jechamiah was the father of Elishama. The descendants of Caleb, the brother of Jerahmeel, included Misha, the firstborn, who became the father of Ziph. Caleb's descendants also included the sons of Marasha, the father of Hebron. The sons of Hebron were Korah, Tapua, Recham, and Shema. Shema was the father of Raham. Raham was the father of Jorkeam. Recham was the father of Shammai. The son of Shammai was Maon. Maon was the father of Beth Zur. Caleb's concubine Ephah gave birth to Haran, Moza, and Gazez. Haran was the father of Gazez. The sons of Jada were Regem, Jotham, Gishan, Pelet, Ephah, and Shaaph. Another of Caleb's concubines, Maacah, gave birth to Sheber and Tirhanah. She also gave birth to Shaaph, the father of Madmannah, and Sheva, the father of Machbenah and Gibeah. Caleb also had a daughter named Oxa. These were all descendants of Caleb. The sons of Hur, the oldest son of Caleb's wife, Ephrathah, were Shobal, the founder of Kiriath Jearim, Salma, the founder of Bethlehem, and Hareph, the founder of Beth Gader. The descendants of Shobal, the founder of Kiriath Jearim, were Haroah, half of the Manahathites, and the families of the Kiriath Jearim, the Ithrites, Puthites, Shumathites, and Mishraites, from whom came the people of Zorah and Eshtaol. The descendants of Salma were the people of Bethlehem, the Netophathites, Atroth Beth Joab, the other half of the Manahathites, the Zorites, and the families of scribes living at Jabez. The Tirathites, Shimeathites, and Sukathites, all these were Kenites, who descended from Hamath, the father of the family of Rechab. These are the sons of David, who were born in Hebron. You know, I know we get a little tedious with the names, and if you're like I am, I've skipped over them most of my life when I read the Bible. And, you know, when you're studying the Bible, most of the time, it's just not necessary, and you just kind of skip it, right? Well, in July 7th's lesson, we'll go over Jabez, and I have a wonderful testimony about the prayer of Jabez. I mean, it'll like blow your mind. And I recommend Bruce Wilkinson's study on the prayer of Jabez to anybody who will do it. But occasionally in these names, there is something that we need to know, that we need to get out of this, because, you know, a lot of these people were the heroes of faith. And so when we go back and we're putting this in the genealogical lines, sometimes it helps it make sense. It's hard. It's hard to go through this. And like I said, there is no way. I'm not going to do it every time I read through the Bible. I'm not going to do it every time I study. But the way that theologians put the years onto things and get back to the fact that the earth is 6,000 years old, a lot of the times is through, you know, it's saying Noah was 100 years old when this happened, and he was, you know, 100 and whatever whenever he had this child, and then so they go back and they piece it back together like a puzzle, and so they have come up with, you know, according to the Bible, the earth is 6,000 years old. I'm not going to argue with God. I will argue with man. When man comes at me and says, oh, it's billions of years old. No, God says he created it. He created it in one day. So this is why these names can become important, is because it gives us that foundation of years, and it helps us to know, okay, these were the people out in the land now that were sometimes, you know, it lets us know, okay, because everybody goes back to Adam and Eve. And so where did the people out in the land come from? Where did the Egyptians come from? Where did, you know, and so this is helpful, even though it's tedious and it's really hard. These times when we read through these names, it is helpful. So these are the sons of David who were born in Hebron. The oldest was Amnon, whose mother was Ahinoam from Jezreel. The second was Daniel, whose mother was Abigail from Carmel. The third was Absalom, whose mother was Maacah, the daughter of Talmai, king of Geshur. The fourth was Adonijah, whose mother was Haggith. The fifth was Shephatiah, whose mother was Abital. The sixth was Ethream, whose mother was Eglah, David's wife. These 6 sons were born to David in Hebron, where he reigned 7.5 years. Then David reigned another 33 years in Jerusalem. The sons born to David in Jerusalem included Shemua, Shobab, Nathan, and Solomon. Their mother was Bathsheba, the daughter of Amiel. David also had 9 other sons: Ibhar, Elishua, Elpaleh, Noga, Nepheg, Japhia, Elishama, Eliada, and Eliphelet. These were the sons of David, not including his sons born to concubines. Their sister was named Tamar. The descendants of Solomon were Rehoboam, Abijah, Asa, Jehoshaphat, Jehoram, Ahaziah, Joash, Amaziah, Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, Hezekiah, Manasseh, Amon, and Josiah. The sons of Josiah were Johanan, the oldest, Jehoiakim, the second, Zedekiah, the third, and Jehoahaz, the fourth. The successors of Jehoiakim were his son Jehoiachin and his brother Zedekiah. So remember, we were just reading about them in the lineage of the kings of Israel and Judah. The sons of Jehoiachin, who was taken prisoner by the Babylonians, were Shealtiel, Malchiram, Pedaiah, Shenazar, Jechemiah, Hoshama, and Nedabiah. The sons of Pedaiah were Zerubbabel and Shimei. The sons of Zerubbabel were Meshullam and Hananiah. Their sister was Shelomith. His 5 other sons were Hashaba, Ohel, Berechiah, Hasadiah, and Jeshabesed. The sons of Hananiah were Pelatiah and Jeshiah. Jeshiah's son was Rephaiah. Rephaiah's son was Arnan. Arnan's son was Obadiah. Obadiah's son was Shechaniah. The descendants of Shechaniah were Shemaiah and his sons Hattush, Egal, Bariah, Neriah, and Shaphat, 6 in all. The sons of Neriah were Elionai, Hizkiah, Azrikam, 3 in all. The sons of Elionai were Hodaviah, Elishib, Peliah, Akub, Johanan, Delai, and Anai, 7 in all. The descendants of Judah were Perez, Hezron, Carmi, Hur, Shobal. Shobal's son was Reiah, was the father of Jahath. Jahath was the father of Ahumai and Lahad. These were the families of the Zorathites. The descendants of Etam were Jezreel, Ishma, Idbash, their sister Hazel Elponi, Penuel, the father of Gedor, and Ezer, the father of Hushash. These were the descendants of Hur, the firstborn of Ephrathah, the ancestor of Bethlehem. Whew. We're to Acts now. Acts 24, verses 1 through 27. 5 days later, Ananias, the high priest, arrived with some of the Jewish elders and the lawyer Tertullus to present their case against Paul to the governor. When Paul was called in, Tertullus presented the charges against Paul in the following address to the governor. You have provided a long period of peace for us Jews, and with foresight have enacted reforms for us. For all of this, Your Excellency, we are very grateful to you, but I don't want to bore you, so please give me your attention for only a moment. We have found this man to be a troublemaker who is constantly stirring up riots among the Jews all over the world. He is a ringleader of the cult known as the Nazarenes. Furthermore, he was trying to desecrate the temple when we arrested him. You can find out the truth of our accusations by examining him yourself." Then the other Jews chimed in, declaring that everything Tertullus said was true. The governor then motioned for Paul to speak. Paul said, "I know, sir, that you have been a judge of Jewish affairs for many years, so I gladly present my defense before you. You can quickly discover that I arrived in Jerusalem no more than 12 days ago to worship at the temple. My accusers never found me arguing with anyone in the temple, not stirring up a riot in any synagogue or on the streets of the city. These men cannot prove the things they accuse me of. But I admit that I follow the way, which they call a cult. I worship the God of our ancestors, and I firmly believe the Jewish law and everything written in the prophets. I have the same hope in God that these men have, that he will raise both the righteous and the unrighteous. Because of this, I always try to maintain a clear conscience before God and all people. After several years away, I returned to Jerusalem with money to aid my people and to offer sacrifices to God. My accusers saw me in the temple as I was completing a purification ceremony. There was no crowd around me and no rioting. But some Jews from the province of Asia were there, and they ought to be here to bring charges if they have anything against me. Ask these men here what crime the Jewish High Council found me guilty of. Except for the one time I shouted out, 'I am on trial before you today because I believe in the resurrection of the dead.' At that point, Felix, who was quite familiar with the way, adjourned the hearing and said, 'Wait until Lysias, the garrison commander, arrives. Then I will decide the case.' He ordered an officer to keep Paul in custody, but to give him some freedom and allow his friends to visit him and take care of his needs. A few days later, Felix came back with his wife Drusilla, who was Jewish. Sending for Paul, they listened as he told them about faith in Christ Jesus. As he reasoned with them about righteousness and self-control and the coming day of judgment, Felix became frightened. 'Go away for now,' he replied. 'When it is more convenient, I'll call for you again.' He also hoped that Paul would bribe him, so he sent for him quite often and talked with him. After 2 years went by in this way, Felix was succeeded by Porcius Festus. And because Felix wanted to gain favor with the Jewish people, he left Paul in prison." We now go to Psalm chapter 4, verses 1 through 8. It's for the choir director, a psalm of David to be accompanied by stringed instruments. "Answer me when I call to you, O God who declares me innocent. Free me from my troubles. Have mercy on me and hear my prayer. How long will you people ruin my reputation? How long will you make groundless accusations? How long will you continue your lies? You can be sure of this: the Lord set apart the godly for himself. The Lord will answer when I call to him. Don't sin by letting anger control you. Think about it overnight and remain silent. Offer sacrifices in the right spirit and trust the Lord. Many people say, 'Who will show us better times?' Let your face smile on us, Lord. You have given me greater joy than those who have abundant harvests of grain and new wine. In peace, I will lie down and sleep, for you alone, O Lord, will keep me safe." Proverbs 18:16 through 18. Giving a gift can open doors. It gives access to important people. The first to speak in court sounds right until the cross-examination begins. Flipping a coin can end arguments. It settles disputes between powerful opponents. That concludes the July 6th daily Bible reading. I'll be back shortly with July 7th, and I'm going to talk about Jabez and the prayer of Jabez, and it's awesome. And it falls right in the middle of all those names that we've been struggling to get through. So it kind of breaks it up, and it's a neat place for it to be because it's the only place in the Bible that Jabez is even mentioned. So I'll be back shortly. Thanks for joining in.